Ready. You're now tuned into the Fight God Show.
It's the Fight Gods. This ain't your normal. Fight hard. This ain't for mortals. Talking boxing, wrestling, and UFC, BKFC, MMA, and WWE. Fight Gods. This ain't your normal. Fight hard. This ain't for mortals. Boxing, wrestling, and UFC, MMA, BKFC, and WWE. If it's a fight, gloves on, fists hate the bare knuckles. The gloves come off when we break down the scuffle. The place to be when you looking for a rumble. We see legacies made and watch foundations crumble. Beat them clean. I ain't the one to mess with. I snap on the beat like I check the leg kick. Prodigies, who gon' be the next pick? Show the whole world something they can be impressed with. Fight Gods, this ain't your normal. Fight hard, this ain't for mortals. Talking boxing, wrestling, and UFC, BKFC, MMA, and WWE. Fight Gods, this ain't your normal. Fight hard, this ain't for mortals. Boxing, wrestling, and UFC, MMA, BKFC, and WWE.
Yo, what up, everybody? Willie G in the building. I'm over here with the guy, Ben Doucette, the Stash. Nico, what's going on, bro? How you guys doing tonight?
Cool, bro. Yeah. My man with the stash twist off rip. What'd you just do with your cat, man? I'm worried.
He killed the cat, bro.
What happened to that cat, man?
He killed that cat.
Oh, there it is. All right, Mr. Bigglesworth in the building.
Yeah, Biggles is in the building, huh?
What you guys up to tonight?
Oh, shit, man.
What was you doing? You was working today, Ben?
Yeah.
I was cool, man. I didn't do shit today.
Nico, you better be training, bro.
Come on, man. It's my day off.
Okay, hey, that's all right. You deserve one of those at
least. My day off. My foot is still injured and shit. I honestly shouldn't be doing anything, but
yeah.
That's my day off.
That's what's up, bro. I guess you deserve the day off then.
Thank you, bro. Thank you.
I'll allow it this one time, man. Ben, I know you're like just very excited about this weekend, man. But there was a last-second cancellation for the main event. What's the deal with Kelvin Gastelum, man? You want to talk about why he pulled out of the fight?
That I haven't actually gotten too far into yet.
Conor McGregor said he got staph in his face.
I don't know about that, yeah. But his face is fucked up. He had to get some kind of surgery.
I think what I heard too was staph. Yep.
Terrible, man.
It's too bad, really, because Gastelum's a bad luck kind of guy. Like, it seems like he can't stay consistently fighting. And when he does, the guys that he is fighting either pull out or, I mean, I feel like he's had a lot of last-minute replacements here lately, especially. And he just can't stay healthy, so it's too bad, really. Do I think that the fight that they made instead is necessarily better? No, definitely not, considering Strickland's last two performances haven't been too great, literally playing into Alex Pereira's game plan and then his 25-minute staring contest there with Jared Cannonier. So, but the good news is Imavov's going to make him work. Imavov's going to bring it. I'm picking Imavov if you're asking that. The kid's on the up and coming. And like I said, he brings it every time. And I even was going to pick him over Gastelum anyway. So I think he still gets the win here, and I think he finishes Strickland, to be honest.
That's what's up, bro. Yeah, I mean, I wasn't ready for picks, but we can go right into it, man. Yeah, I'm going to go with Imanov also. I think that it seems like Strickland has kind of like bust on like the main event scene real quick, and he'll be off the main event scene pretty soon as well, bro. I feel like he's just basically taking a lot of fights, making a lot of money, not necessarily smart fights or good fights. The one thing he does have going for him, it's at light heavyweight. I don't know if you know that, but being at 205 with this dude already cutting weight, that sometimes plays into things, but I still think he'll lose. What I was going to say, and I was going to put it in the chat last night, but I didn't, but I'll say it now. I think Gastelum would have lost also, but I think Gastelum would have went the distance. I think Strickland will get finished. I don't think Strickland does more than 2 rounds with this kid.
That's exactly what I was thinking too. I mean, I was going to pick Imavov to beat Gastelum anyway, like I said, but it's hard to buy into somebody's hype when they haven't done anything to back it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
His biggest opportunities to prove that the shit that he talks is actually legit. He failed in both of them.
Right.
Prove that you're the better fighter overall by even at least attempting to take Panea to the ground, and he didn't do that. And then Cannonier is notorious for not fighting if you bring the fight to him like that. And he still just tried to outpoint him and stand across from him, and it was really weird. So maybe he can get on track here, but I mean, if he loses, that's 3 in a row, and there's nowhere but the prelims for him. So,
yep, I kind of agree. Nico, what about you, man? What do you think of this fight?
I think Imavov wins the fight. I agree with both of y'all. He burst onto the, I won't say main event scene, but he's kind of in the mix a little bit, and I think he'll be out just as fast as he came. That stand-up boxing shit is only going to get you so far.
Right. I got you. I mean, but the reason I did say that is because he's done 3 out of his last 4 fights have been main events.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I mean, but go ahead, Ben. What were you gonna say?
It's just hard to want to watch a guy that doesn't seem to have power. I don't know if he's just not, if he's a volume over power kind of guy, but you're talking about knocking people out and putting the hurt on him and stuff. But I mean, he landed over 100 strikes or whatever against Cannonier and didn't even come close to knocking the guy out. So,
right. Yeah.
Like my boy Tank this weekend, dude. Touch that kid up so bad they fucking quit.
Bro, wouldn't come off the stool, bro.
Yeah.
He went to work, bro.
What was it like in the? It was one of the middle rounds there where he clipped. Yeah, he clipped him good, and that guy's like, I couldn't see the rest of the fight. He's like, I was literally fighting blind.
On top of his head and couldn't see out of his right eye. It's crazy.
Yeah, pretty wild. I watched highlights. I didn't see the fight live. I had some other stuff going on. Yeah.
Pretty much since we started talking boxing, forever ago, I haven't missed a Tank fight.
Nah, man, he's the truth, man.
That's what's up.
Him and Ryan Garcia is gonna be fucking insane.
Yeah,
it is, bro. I don't know which way I'm going when that happens.
Yeah, we'll talk about it when it gets closer, man. I want to look at some more.
Cat. Get out of here, dude.
I think Ryan might be on that juice right now.
Yeah, I think so too.
That boy got big, bro.
Yeah. I feel you on that. Hey, what was I gonna ask you guys? What there was somebody on the prelims everybody was talking about. Who was it?
Boots Enos.
Oh yeah, Boots.
Yep. Jerome.
Is that
he's the next wave right there. He's the next guy.
That's his first match that's went the distance.
Yeah, he's filthy, and the kid can work, and he's gonna be marketable, and he's the next guy. He's the next one up.
Yeah. That's what's up. Hey, before we talk about some other things, it's crazy too, Nico, because your dad had said something to me about it a while back, last year, at least a year ago. And he's like, hey, you guys should talk about this girl on the air. And I think me and you might have just mentioned it very briefly, but it was the girl from one fighting championship that was 17 and fighting pro.
Andrea Lee.
Yeah, Andrea Lee. And you saw she died the other day?
I heard she died.
Yeah. And they're not releasing how, and that's never a good thing. They're not releasing a cause of death yet, and that's always a rough thing, man. Especially in the Asian culture, there's a lot of suicide, and that's what I'm afraid of. Let's put it that way. Which is terrible, man. I mean, she ended up fighting 3 times, 3-0. She's just 18 years old.
Yep.
Just horrible, man. And I have no idea what happened to her. You know what I mean? She could have, anything could have happened. I'm just saying, with them not releasing a cause of death yet, and it's already been, she passed away about 2 weeks ago. And they just released that she had passed away, and no cause of death is kind of suspicious to me.
Very sad.
But Ben just ran away.
Yeah,
I'm trying to fix my camera on my phone.
Yeah.
It's all right, Ben. We got you, bro. But yeah, I just wanted to, give a little rest in peace for her. I feel terrible about that horrible thing. But hey, Nico, how about that co-main event this weekend though? Dan Ige versus Damon Jackson. Who are you going with on that one?
Who's Ige fighting?
Damon Jackson.
Damon Jackson.
Yeah.
Why is that not ringing my bell right now?
I could tell you who he is, man. I'll give you a brief synopsis of his last few fights. Let's see. So, in his last fight, he knocked out Pat Sabatini in 1 minute and 9 seconds. That was in September. And then back in June, he beat Daniel Argueta in a decision.
Mm-hmm.
The big thing with him is Damon Jackson. He was in the UFC back in 2014, and it went horribly.
Yeah.
He didn't win a single fight. He was 0-1-2. He had like 2 draws or 2 no contests or something.
What did 50K do last fight?
Dan Ige, he lost to Cheeto, right? Or was it Sandhagen?
1. Yeah, you're right. He was 0-1-1. But I was going to tell Nico real quick before I looked that up. His biggest win to date, I'd say, was probably against versus Mirsad Bektik. How do you say his last name, Ben?
Mirsad Bektik.
Yeah, probably that he won by submission against him, and he beat Charles Rosa by decision.
Dan Ige's lost 4 of his last 5. He lost to Calvin Cater, beat Gavin Tucker, lost to Chan Sung Jung, lost to Josh Emmett, lost to Masbar Evelev.
And Damon Jackson has won 4 in a row.
I'm gonna still rock with 50K.
With Ige? Okay.
Yeah.
I'm gonna go with Jackson. What about you, Ben?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Damon Jackson too. I have no disrespect for Ige. The dude's fought some of the best in the division, but he's been touched up a lot. He's taken a lot of damage over the last few fights. I think Damon's riding the hot streak, and Ige's kind of getting caught in a slump. So I'm going to pick Damon Jackson here, reluctantly, but I'm going to pick Damon Jackson.
Okay. Hey, speaking of Jackson, did you guys hear Mike Jackson got released from the UFC today? You guys know who Mike Jackson is?
No.
Come on, Nico. Come on.
No, Mike Goldberg.
He's had 4 fights in the UFC. He lost to Mickey Gall. He had a win that was overturned to a no contest against CM Punk. He beat Dean Barry by disqualification for an eye gouge.
Black
he
ball
lost to Pete Rodriguez. Yeah.
He's
Bro,
the
he
guy
had a rough go.
He's the guy that got beat up by Jake Shields at the Performance Center this week or last week.
He had a rough go of it. So he lost. He won a fight, but it got overturned because he smoked weed. Then he won another fight for disqualification. Then he got knocked out. He's a true jobber, for real.
Damn.
His only win is by disqualification. That's like the definition of a jobber. He got released today. He still had 1 fight left on his contract, apparently, but they showed him the door. So, anyway, I thought we'd add a little parody in there. By Mike Jackson has been fun. You did beat CM Punk, but you were under the influence of marijuana, sir, and that makes you a cheater.
You beat CM Punk, but you're still not the best in the world.
Definitely not the best in the world.
It's clobbering time.
Definitely clobbering time. Let's see what we got here. All right. Ben, you're going to have to help me out with these names because I suck at pronouncing them.
Yeah, come on, John Anik.
You want to go ahead with the Soriano fight?
Yeah, that's Punahil Soriano and Roman Kopylov. This is an interesting fight because both guys are kind of like middle of the road a little bit. Soriano's known for having big power, and he's pretty durable. He's got a good gas tank. Kopylov though is your typical prototypical Russian fighter, grapple heavy. He's got good hands. He can take a punch. This should be a pretty competitive fight. It's hard to say because Punahile is a huge middleweight. He's a big dude. I do believe that's where they fight is middleweight.
Hey, Jason McDowell said, "What's up? What's up, bro?" Hey,
Yeah,
Ben,
it is
I'm not going to pick on this fight honestly because I'm not entirely familiar with them. I don't know. Like, if you want to give like a prediction for it or whatever, a breakdown, I doubt Nico really wants to pick anything on here either. I mean, unless you. Yeah.
You don't know. Maybe he does.
No, that's my guy. He know me. You got me.
Yeah.
This is in my opinion, it's a classic striker versus grappler. I think Kopylov grinds out a decision and gets the win.
That's what's up. All right, that makes sense. Like you said, if he's a prototypical Russian fighter, those guys do that kind of game plan quite a bit. It's funny you said that middle of the road line. Look, when back in the day at this old job, we used to go enter this like chili contest every year, and the boss's husband would get drunk, and he would like be trying to get people to try our chili. He'd be like, "It's just the middle of the road chili, man. You gotta try it." Like he'd be drinking PBR all day. It's like it's not. You trying to laugh at me, Nico? You trying to be funny, Nico?
No, I think that shit is hilarious.
It was, bro. He'd be drunk off of PBR and
like that's the worst sell of all time.
Exactly.
Like it's just an awful sell tag. I thought that shit was comedy, bro.
Yeah, but the thing that he was trying to get across to people was that it wasn't very spicy, but he just wasn't saying it correctly. He was just saying it's middle of the road. But Nico, I actually thought of you earlier, man, because I think it's
Wendy's got some killer chili. All right, go ahead.
Oh yeah, they got good chili. Yeah. FYE, I think it's FYE has a crock pot. They're selling for like $35 on the website, and it's actually Kevin's chili crock pot. It's just a crock pot with Kevin on there holding a thing of chili. It's awesome, man. Fire. And apparently it comes with Kevin's chili recipe, man.
Yeah, all right.
Ben, that's just some office shit. When you watch it one day, man, like 15 years from now, you'll know exactly what we're talking about. You'll think back and be like, I remember. But yeah, so like I said, Ben, I'll take your word for it on that fight, man. But I think the next fight between Ketlin Vieira and Raquel Pennington, I think is going to be fight of the night, to be honest with you. I'm going to go with Ketlin, but I think that's a good fight, man. I think that even though Raquel hasn't won quite as many fights lately. Hell yeah, bro. Is that a blanket?
Yeah.
That's what's up. I think Raquel makes every fight, a fight. And I think that she's big for the weight class, which always, gives her a nice weapon to use. Like I said, I'm going to go with Ketlin. I think she'll win by decision. But
who's Ketlin fighting?
She is fighting
Rocky
against,
Pennington.
Raquel.
Oh yeah,
Who's won 4 in a row, by the way.
She's won 4 in a row.
Yeah, she beat Marion Renault, Pennington, Tienzad, Macy Chason, and Aspen Ladd.
I forgot.
Oh, those are great names.
Yeah, Rocky's gonna win this fight.
Yeah,
I don't think so.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with Rocky.
You didn't even know who she's beaten her last 4 fights. Get out of town.
I didn't know who she'd beaten. I knew she had beaten a couple of them. I forgot about the other her last fight.
Though. Yeah, I'm going with Rocky.
Was the oldest fighter in the UFC and is retired now, right?
Who?
Marion Renault.
Yeah, but
she fought Marion Renault 4 fights ago, though. So I
know, but Nico was saying Nico was just saying like Marion Renault. Bro. She was good, but she was also literally the oldest fighter in the UFC, and now she's retired. But I think that was her last fight, right?
Kevin needs to take, but I mean,
yeah, I got to go with her, man. But you're right. I forgot about the Aspen Ladd fight. I totally forgot about that fight that even happened. Damn, she's fought a couple times since I realized she had fought last. Yeah, it's all right. I'm still going against her, man. I'm still going with Ketlin. Ketlin's tough, bro. That's good. I'm glad you guys are disagreeing with me, because it'll be that much sweeter when I'm right.
He want to be on the squad so bad.
No,
yeah,
I don't, man.
it's sad,
I'm the
man.
anti-squad.
That
I'm
little
like-
black curtain behind him is the
I
fucking
know,
Friends
man.
Forever collage
Crazy.
with us in it. You know what I'm saying?
Crazy.
Here's the truth, though. I'm like Taylor Swift, man. I'm the anti-hero, bro.
You're like Taylor Swift.
Yep.
You couldn't have picked literally
What
any
the
other
fuck is
character
that?
ever, like
Yeah, what the
Punisher or
fuck?
Deadpool or like.
No.
Come on, man! You picked fucking Taylor Swift.
It's because her hot song right now is anti-hero.
I couldn't even tell you. I didn't even know she had a hot song.
I didn't know she did music.
That's because you guys aren't cool like me. You guys just
Fucking
aren't as
fuck.
cool as I am. That's why. But
Chill
yeah, she's
out.
the anti-hero, man.
My bad say he like Taylor Swift. Okay.
What's wrong with Taylor Swift, Nico?
Nothing,
Ben
man.
left.
I wear a Spice Girls t-shirt on this motherfucker, so I don't care. Like what? Like
There
what
you
like.
go. Exactly. Nico, when you were a little kid, I remember your sister used to have the No Doubt CD. You'd be up there dancing to it. So I don't want to hear shit from you.
That's no doubt. That's not the same thing. Don't even.
Yeah.
Don't speak.
Nico.
I know
Exactly.
just
See?
what
This
to
motherfucker.
say.
I know what Nico's first ever rap album was. Nico, do you know what your first ever rap album was?
Tell me.
You really don't know?
Tell me.
I gave you a Coolio cassette tape, motherfucker, and that was your first hip hop album. So I don't want to hear
That's
shit.
crazy.
Gangster's Paradise.
Come
Good.
along,
Oh, hell yeah.
I think mine was actually Shaquille O'Neal's rap album that he put out.
That wasn't even a rap
God.
album. What was your second one? That was your first real one.
That's crazy.
I think that was it. My second one was Wu-Tang.
That's a good album to have. I can tell you what my first hip hop album
Will was
I mean,
rapping along the Kazam.
who, me?
Yeah, for sure.
Nah, hell no.
Will's
My
first rap album was.
What is the movie with Sinbad?
It doesn't exist.
That doesn't exist, bro. But
Doesn't exist,
everybody
I know.
remembers.
I can't
I
find
never
it.
remembered. I never remembered it. I never had heard. That's why I asked you, Nico, because I was like, I was asking you about it. But my first album ever, the first hip hop album that I owned, was Will Smith and DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Fresh Prince, "Nightmare on My Street."
No, it was Will
Yeah,
Smith's Big Willie style. Don't even fucking start with me.
Bro, I was like 18
You were
when
you were
that.
getting.
Millennium.
I don't give a fuck. You were getting jiggy with it. Miami.
Nico,
Millennium.
you better talk, Nico, because you know I've been
Wild
a hip hop
West.
head since I was a little kid.
Millennium.
Millennium.
Yeah, that's what. That's fucking
me.
right. That's what your first album was.
What it
Will
was.
Lennium.
Yep.
Fuck out of
Exactly.
here. Your first album was DJ. Yeah.
It was. My Uncle Jimmy bought it
Look
for
at
me.
that sweater, Bill Cosby. We know what your first album was.
What sweater? This is not a sweater, man. This is a fishing shirt, motherfucker, if you really could see it.
I'm blind, motherfucker. I can't see anything.
And it's got lightning bolts on it, so you wish you were cool enough to wear lightning bolts.
Shit,
Man.
yo, he pulled the Hulk Hogan NWO shit out. It's fucking
Lightning
crazy,
bolts.
bro.
Bro, you're lucky I didn't play some Jimi Hendrix when I was coming on the air.
Bro, Hulk Hogan was awful, bro.
Terrible. But
I've been watching
Still
so
wanted to
many
watch him.
Nitros, bro. Oh my god, man.
Garbage.
Just-
Straight garbage.
Bro, the way he would hit people with a chair was awful. It was so bad. It was so just no malintentions behind it. He just tapped you with that shit. He had people selling for nothing.
Hey, Ben, I did want to point one thing out to you, man, because I was talking shit to you the other week about AEW, but last week's main event between Samoa Joe and Darby Allin, and we talked a little bit about it last week. It was a good match, but also there's something very special about that match for AEW, and they should really look at this. So always what ends up happening is like AEW starts up here for like a million, like a million point two, or 1.2 million, and then like throughout the show it just goes down, viewership down. That show, it started at like a million, down. Darby Allin and Joe come on, and it went back up. That's the first main event that has actually gained viewers after the big dip happened, which is awesome, man. That's impressive. That means people actually wanted to see that match, which is pretty fucking cool. I mean, you got to think about it, bro. Like, so I can give
But
you an
neither-
example. I can give you an example though. That trios bullshit that they've been doing. When that match is on, bye. 200,000 people like just dropped off.
I think it had less to do with who was in the match and more to do with the fact that there was a title on the line.
You think so?
Yeah, I mean, are Darby Allin and Samoa Joe big needle movers for you? Like, I mean,
Samoa Joe. I mean, I like to watch Samoa Joe.
Samoa
If he's
Joe
on, I'll
15
watch
years ago, maybe, but Samoa Joe who gets hurt now doing his own finishing move is, I mean, I love Samoa Joe, but
He's pretty
he
good.
did a muscle buster in NXT, winning the title, and then immediately got injured doing his own move.
That's true. Hey,
Darby Allin hasn't been in a meaningful feud outside of anything with Sting, like since Sting's come around. Like that's the whole. And Darby Allin's awesome too, but like that's not moving the needle for me. Like that's not what I'm gonna tune in for.
Get him.
I mean, you think that title though, like, is more important than Kenny Omega and those
who
guys?
was in the match? Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, it's just the TNT title, though. I mean, it's not like
right. But when was the last time? When was the last time the heavyweight title was even on TV?
It's been a while.
So
yeah, I mean, you're
when
right.
You don't have a heavyweight title. When you don't have a heavyweight title and your trios match is literally everyone called it when it got announced that there was a trios match. So there's nothing to watch there when you've watched them wrestle 7 times in a row.
I know that's ridiculous shit.
So
I mean, even the first one didn't do too good.
And they refuse to dedicate any time to their women's division. So it's like, it's Jade Cargill in these squash matches.
It's pretty bad. But
so I mean, I agree that was an awesome main event. It was fantastic. Yeah. But I just feel like it was more because people were like, it's a title shot. It's a title match at least. Let's watch it. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Nico, did you see that whole promo between Bryan Danielson and MJF?
No.
Where he told MJF told Bryan Danielson that he thinks that his mom really did sleep with a goat because she couldn't find any male suitors.
Hey yo.
And
that's what MJF said?
Yeah, and Bryan Danielson said, well, it's funny you should say that because we all know that your mom found too many male suitors. Hey, probably enough to fill up this whole arena. And bro, this shit was great, man. It was pretty good.
Pop.
Yeah, oh yeah, they did great. I thought they did great. But anyway, we'll get into wrestling here in a minute. Let's do this last fight. The last fight that we'll pick is Umar Nurmagomedov versus Ronnie Barcelos. I'll take Umar, obviously. I feel like he'll just basically drown this dude like he does everybody, pretty much. He's undefeated. He's he's Khabib's cousin, right? Is that right, Ben? Yeah, that's what I thought. Yeah. I don't think this will be very competitive. But you going with that too, Nico?
Yes, sir.
Ben, you going with that too? Throw a thumbs up. Cool.
The weird thing here is this guy Barcelos is actually pretty good. So this is one of those classic, like, could be a trap fight because he's going to be better than I think Nurmagomedov was going to give him credit for. So it'll be interesting, but I think it'll be more or less the same shit.
Yeah, I got you.
Barcelos is good off his back, so he could catch him, but it'll be a good fight. But yeah, he's gonna get drowned. Yeah,
that's what I figure. So let's ask you guys this: what do you think of the California Senators trying to get Endeavor to basically fire Dana White as president of the UFC?
I heard it wasn't even the Senators. It was a women's movement group that's trying to pressure the Senators into saying something to Endeavor.
That's right, Ben.
That's right. What?
Like it was like it's not the Senators. It's a separate group that's not actually involved in government in any way. Mm-hmm. It's like a group of, I don't want to sound insensitive, but like angry women that
women.
are
that. It is, but
white women, angry white women.
Okay, yeah, that might be true, but in that group, there's 18 senators.
Yeah, but it's not actual, like, the Senate isn't doing it. It's a
Right,
woman's rights
18
group.
senators though. 18 senators are in the group.
I mean,
Right.
that's cool, but it's not like the actual Senate that's trying to force.
Right, it's not the Senate. No, it's not the Senate. It's senators. But I mean,
Well, they're the women's group over being senators, though. Like, I didn't even, the article I read didn't even mention that there was any senators in the group. It was that it was a women's rights group.
No, I mean it is. It includes 18 senators. I just think it's interesting that they're getting involved. I don't know, because I don't know, man. I mean, I don't think that they're going to remove Dana White as president, but I do think that, and like we've seen it a million times, one little thing like this happens, and then it's like somebody else says, "Oh, well, you know what? Dana did this to me," and then it's like this and this. It's like a snowball effect. Give it a year, and like he'll probably have killed 3 kids, fucking raped a couple of interviewers, and whatever. I'm not saying he'll have done it, but I'm just saying that he'll have those accusations behind him. Look at Vince McMahon, bro. The guy has accusations for fucking days now. It's crazy.
Yeah, but the thing about like Vince McMahon and Dana White both is we've known since forever ago that this was the way they were.
Right. Yeah, I mean, I agree.
So it's not like when these stories come out, it's shocking or anything. It's, like Dana White's mom did an interview a few years ago, literally saying that he was a piece of shit.
Yep.
Like that he was an abusive, explosive, like piece of shit, basically. You know what I mean? So like, the last thing that Endeavor is going to do is get rid of Dana White.
Not right now. I agree.
I mean, it's, again, I don't want to say that this is, I don't want to sound like I'm saying what he did was okay, but like in the grand scheme of what he could have done, that's minuscule to them, I'm sure. Like him smacking her back after she smacked him, they're probably going to be like, well, he could have done way worse. You know what I mean? Unfortunately.
I feel like it's one of those situations where they're going to be like, well, we have Dana going to like sensitivity training or some shit like that. You know what I mean?
Absolutely, dude. You're 100% correct.
They'll be like, well, we're going to have him go in there. Him and his wife are going to get counseling where blah, blah, blah.
They'll probably release a small personal statement from Endeavor saying that they don't condone the actions of, whoever, but the only way to move past this is to move forward as a team and to help him. You know what I mean?
Hell yeah. Nico, you know what would be fucking classic? If they brought in the doctor that was there for Kane and Daniel Bryan when they were trying to get them to like...
Oh, yes.
Yes. What's his name?
I forget his name.
Oh, man. He was great. Remember he came back and like he was there for what's her name? Alexa Bliss. Let's see. But yeah, that would be great, man. If they put him on the fucking show and said his
Dr. Shelby.
Yeah, exactly. Yep, exactly. Yeah, that would be fucking great. I would love it. Yeah, bring Dr. Shelby into the UFC. Fucking hilarious. All right. So elsewhere in MMA news today, Diego Sanchez was approved to fight
for
BKFC.
No,
he was approved to fight. Yeah.
No.
Yeah, he passed the physical. Right, that's what. Yeah, passed the physical. Yep. I mean,
bro, that's something crazy right there.
As crazy as he's been like talking right before he left the UFC, I feel like just for that kind of stuff, he shouldn't be approved. I mean, damn.
Nah, man.
Fucking crazy. But yeah. You have any thoughts about him getting approved, Ben? Think he's just gonna be a punching bag?
Oh no, I think it'll be.
I mean, not for that fight. I'm just saying if he gets in there with anybody who actually can fight. I mean, I don't know about this Austin Trout guy, but
I think it'll be interesting to see. Diego's always been a weird dude to begin with. So who knows how much of his weirdness is due to being punched in the head for a living and how much of it's just him being weird and how much of it is him putting on an act.
Right.
New Mexico typically isn't one to just give somebody a license, so they must have seen something that was okay. I don't know how to.
Do you guys know who this Austin Trout is? Do you guys
I've
know
never
who he
seen
is?
him.
All right, I'm gonna go ahead and say this dude is gonna fuck Diego Sanchez up. I'm talking about like knock him the fuck out, batter him, give him permanent brain damage. Bro, this dude has beaten Miguel Cotto in boxing.
Shit.
He lost
Oh,
the unanimous
God.
decision to Canelo. He let's see, trying to look at some of his more like his bigger fights.
He held the WBA regular light middleweight title from 2011 to 2013. He is also a 3-time light middleweight world title challenger, challenging twice for the IBF title as well as for the WBC title.
Oh, God.
36 wins, 18 knockouts, 5 losses.
Bro, he's
Why
gonna
are they trying
fucking
to do my guy like this?
Yeah,
I guess
his 5 losses are to Jermell Charlo, Jarrett Hurd. He lost to Jamal Charlo again, Arislandi Lara, and Canelo Alvarez. He hasn't lost to anybody else. He beat Miguel Cotto.
I can't believe he beat Cotto. That's crazy. Yeah, I'm gonna say he's gonna go ahead and fuck Diego right up. And all those losses, Nico, all of his losses are decision losses.
Yeah, every single one of them.
Except for against Jarrett Hurd. It says he had he retired after the 10th round. I guess he didn't make the belt for the 11th, but besides that, Jesus, that he doesn't sound like he's any kind of joke, man.
No, he doesn't. He doesn't sound like you should fuck with him.
No. So I don't know, but
what a crazy man Diego Sanchez is.
He's a fucking maniac, bro. He ate. He drank all of Stephan Bonner's fucking what's it called? What's the vegetable that he drank? All the asparagus. He took all Stephan Bonner's asparagus on the show, put it in a drink, and then he's like, "Do you even know what that was, Diego?" He's like, "No, but it made my pee smell bad."
Hey, yo, shut the fuck
I swear,
up.
bro, it was on Tough. You remember that, Ben?
I do not remember that. Yeah,
bro, because they all order their own groceries. He was stealing people's groceries. He took, and of course, why would you steal something from Stephan Bonner?
Yeah, hell
bro,
yeah.
Stephan Bonner is the American Psycho for a reason. He's really fucking nuts, I think.
R.I.P.
Yeah, R.I.P. Bro.
They wound up being good friends though, right?
I think so. Probably later
Stephan
on.
inside of the room when his coach was going off and shit at everybody involved in the broadcast? I'm almost positive.
Probably.
It was Diego Sanchez, his crazy ass coach, and Stephan Bonner.
I think yes, it
Stephan was his advocate.
Yes, exactly. You're right. You're absolutely right, man. That's fucking hilarious.
R.I.P.
R.I.P. Bro. Hey, I'm a fan of Stephan Bonner. I always have been, man. I do really was a maniac, man. But hey, let me ask you guys about AJ McKee. I thought that when his contract was up, he'd finally be like, all right, I'm gonna go to the UFC, see what this is all about, see what I could do. He re-signs with Bellator. Right now, he is, I think, 20-1. His only loss, I didn't even feel like he really lost to Pitbull. I felt like they kind of just fucked him over. But what's his legacy going to be? I mean, the guy is now 27 years old. He signed a multi-year, multi-fight contract. He'll be at least 30 by the time this contract is up, sounds like to me. I think he did a 3-year or something. I mean, is he waiting too long to come to the UFC?
No.
You don't think so?
Chandler came in.
He did, but look at him, man. I think that Chandler 10 years ago would have done great in the UFC, better than he's done.
I mean, that's all speculatory. He's still in the main event scene. He's putting on a hell of a show while he's there. He's cracking with some of the guys that we view as the best in the world. And he's doing some shit to him, so.
Yeah. You hear what Poirier said about him today?
What?
He said he didn't think he should fight Conor McGregor because he thinks that Chandler will get knocked out because he gets hit too easily.
He does get hit. He gets hit pretty damn easy, man. And Conor is big right now, so him going back down in weight, that power is definitely going to translate even crazier now.
Yeah, I think so too. But
I don't know.
What were you going to say, Ben?
Hear me out, okay?
Go ahead.
He's, arguably the greatest fighter on the Bellator roster. He has the ability to fight with Risen if he wants to.
Mhm.
I'm sure that if he wanted to fight in boxing or elsewhere, he'd have the ability to do that. He gets these massive paydays. He has the ability to get his own sponsors, like the old school UFC days. And he main events literally every event that he's on. Why would he leave?
And to add to what Ben was saying, you just wrote to us in the chat the other day that people were positioning to buy Bellator.
Yeah, I know.
So if you have that information, he might have some crazier information, or he
I mean,
might
he
know.
might.
So
Yeah.
like the money that he's looking at, we might not even know what's going on.
Right.
Do rankings in the UFC matter? Honest question.
Do rankings in the UFC matter?
Yeah.
No.
What do you?
So what's the point in going to the UFC?
Because I feel like if it's your legacy, man, and you're an MMA fighter and you never went to the UFC, you just never know how good you really were, and people
What's
won't
going to
either.
be more memorable for Gegard Mousasi's legacy? The fact that he tried in the UFC and failed, or the fact that he was arguably the greatest middleweight champion Bellator has ever seen?
And people
I mean-
still talk about Fedor like the GOAT.
They do, but okay,
The UFC isn't the end all be all anymore. It's not. I mean, it makes
it really is though.
It is, but it's not at the same time. You're not making the most money fighting in the UFC.
Especially
maybe
now,
not.
like didn't DJ go over to win the belt, and then get beat by somebody over there?
Yeah.
Yeah, he did.
All right, so then you have people who are looked at like GOATs coming from UFC to these other organizations, and being trumped by some people that are homebred over there. So it's like, is it really a bad thing to not go there? I don't think so.
I realized he lost to Conor McGregor, but Eddie Alvarez came over, beat the best that the UFC had to offer at the time, and won the title. And he was a Bellator guy.
Yep.
Right. I mean, I agree, but I feel like if you don't ever make it there, man, you're never really going to be. You never really tested yourself, and I know that.
Though,
I think that's an unfair assessment because
test yourself. I don't agree.
Alex Fajea won 4 fights, not one against a ranked guy, and he's middleweight champion. I mean, he didn't test himself in any way against anybody else. Israel
Strickland's ranked.
That was the one guy he beat that was ranked.
Right. You said it. Oh, you said. Okay, I thought you said not against one ranked guy. Okay, you said against one ranked guy. Okay, let's put it this way, and I'm not even talking. This isn't even competition, but think of how Sting would be thought about if he would have went to the WWE when he actually could still go, and it wasn't just like a show.
And people still look at him like he's the GOAT.
Right?
No, they look at him like he's one of them, but they definitely don't put him up there with people that actually went to the WWE.
That's because that's hard. That's a harder thing to judge. That's all a matter of preference, right?
Like, I don't know, man.
It's about popularity too, but
it's about
I'm just saying, if you never go to the biggest stage there is,
bro, he was a part of the squad that beat them for 84 weeks straight.
82 weeks.
Whatever, right? Bro.
Yeah,
whatever.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. He still never went, man.
I only know it's 82 weeks because that's the name of Eric Bischoff's podcast. Is 82 weeks.
But the point still remains, bro. He don't have to be over there because he stomped them motherfuckers out, and he was a large portion of why they were.
Okay, let me ask you this. All right.
You asked about legacy. And I don't think that it would hurt his legacy if he doesn't go to the UFC and he's just another fish in that pond. Okay, I don't think it hurts his legacy at all. I don't think it hurts his legacy at all to go from arguably the greatest fighter in the promotion he works for being just another name on the list that's making $15,000 to show, $15,000 to win, and can't get any sponsors.
He'd get a lot more than $15,000 in the UFC.
And if you really,
I'm just fucking picking a number up, Will. Like, you know what I'm saying? I mean, come on, dude.
I do know what you're saying, but he would make a lot more
$5,000 to show, $5,000 to win for some of these guys.
And if you really know your shit, you know that all these people is in the same camps anyway, bro. I'll take you down to Flex Fight Series right now, and you're gonna see Matt Serra and Aljo in the corner of some kid. You know what I mean? Like
I know.
they're
I
all
mean, I
coming
know that
from the same places. It doesn't matter.
So you guys are saying that this guy is the best in Bellator, and I agree with that. But if you're not fighting against the other best people, yeah, that hurts your legacy. Who's my favorite heavyweight boxer of all time, Nico? Do you remember? This is important. Do you remember?
No.
Riddick Bowe. Do you know why his legacy
yes,
sucks? You know why his
Why?
legacy sucks? Because he was friends with Mike Tyson, so he didn't fight him. He got in the whole argument shit with Lennox Lewis, so he never signed the contract, never fought him. He was friends with Michael Moore, never fought him. So out of the top 5 heavyweights at the time, the only one he fought was Evander Holyfield. All the rest of those guys, he had some kind of excuse or reason not to fight them. If he would have fought them and beat them, they'd be like, holy shit, Riddick Bowe, that dude's the fucking greatest. Even though the dude has one of the greatest records of all time. He's like, I think 46-1. One loss. And he was heavyweight world champ, unified, whatever. He only has one loss to Evander Holyfield. But because he didn't fight the other GOATs, he's not in the conversation.
That's from a casual standpoint, though, because if you sit here and you tell me what your eyes told you about him, then we're going to have a different conversation.
Not to mention, you can't say he's not fighting the best because he literally just made it to the finals of a tournament that was only the best bantam or featherweights in the world.
Will,
okay, but
why is that man your favorite heavyweight fighter of all time?
Why? Because he was exciting. I love to watch him. He was entertaining. He was great on the microphone. Several reasons.
You literally just explained AJ McKee.
Huh? Okay, that's good. I agree with you, but I'm not saying that Riddick Bowe's legacy is what it should be. That's my point. Look, if you said the top 5 featherweights right now in the world, you might say that 2 are from Bellator, right? You'd say that Pitbull and him, and then you'd say that you got Max Holloway over there. He'd be considered a GOAT of all time there. You'd say Volkanovski, and you'd probably pick one other guy. I don't even know who you would pick. You'd pick one other person, though. One of the guys in the UFC, definitely not anybody from Bellator. But he's only fighting one of those guys out of the other top 5. And now he's kind of stuck only fighting those guys. For your legacy, you got to be able to fight these guys. I feel like if you never tested yourself against the best fighters in the world, how are you ever going to know how good you really were?
I don't believe that that's the measuring stick. I believe that we view it as the measuring stick because of their popularity.
Correct.
I can't. Jax views WWE as the measuring stick right now, but there's some kid out there who's growing up on AEW. Mm-hmm. And that's his measuring stick. You know what I mean? Like that's all there is to it. You can't tell Jax the Usos not the best tag team in the world, but there's some boy out there talking about the Young Bucks right now, and he don't need to see them in WWE.
Talking about the Acclaimed. Don't lie,
whatever,
man.
bro.
The kid's talking about the Acclaimed, not the Young Bucks.
Stop it, Will.
Anyway, no, I know, but you know what I'm saying, man. If you have never been in there with the best, how could you really like say, "Hey, I'm the best there is"?
What defines your legacy, though? I mean, like, what defines legacy?
What defines your legacy?
Yeah, like because you have a win in the UFC means, oh man, I finally did it. I did it. I
fought against the best fighters.
He was champion. He was undefeated. He made it to the finals of $1 million Grand Prix tournament. The dude's obviously one of the best fighters in the world. Just because he's not doing it in the UFC doesn't mean that he's not one of the best featherweights on the planet.
Okay, off the top of your head, who won the 155 PFL tournament for $1 million that just ended? What's that dude's name?
Off the top of my head, there's
but you just said right. But you just said he won $1 million tournament against 8 other fighters.
He's not in the PFL. That was $1 million tournament in Bellator. That we're not talking about the PFL.
I mean, but what makes Bellator's tournament
you bringing up
PFL?
PFL has nothing to do with AJ McKee's legacy. It's just trying to support your theory.
But you just said that it was a big deal because he won an $8-man $1 million tournament. So did the 155-pound guy at Bellator, but we don't even know what the fuck his name is.
But you do know AJ McKee, though. But you do know AJ McKee.
I do
Right,
know
that's
AJ
not what
McKee.
we're
I
talking
agree.
about. I don't
His
understand. I
his
don't
name
understand what
rings
has
a
to do
bell,
with
though.
anything.
It
I
doesn't
just don't
matter.
understand what
It
it has to
doesn't
do.
matter. Irregardless, you could bring up a ton of motherfuckers we don't know, but we all here know AJ McKee. So
We do
clearly,
know
what
him,
he's
yeah.
doing is standing out,
He is
and
standing
that's
out.
what separates him from the pack.
It does separate him from the pack. I agree. But if you never make it to that grandest stage, if you never make it to the big show, I don't feel like
Are they calling his phone?
I'm sure they at least gave him an offer if he
All
was a
right
free
then.
agent.
All right then.
It
They
was
had to have.
Olivier Aubin Mercier who won the
So
PFL
even
155
they
tournament, by the
acknowledge
way.
him. So
Former
even
tough
they acknowledge
contestant,
him.
former UFC lightweight, by the way.
I know. I remember him. Now that you said his name, I remember him, but none of us could name him off the top of our head.
I literally
I
just
don't give a
did.
fuck. I don't give a fuck.
Ben, how long did it take though?
He
2
was
minutes?
talking. It took me 2 minutes to think about it.
Exactly.
We weren't talking about that. So it's not like I would
Well, you
have that
guys-
name on the top of my head because we were talking about Bellator featherweights and their tournament.
Okay, so let's put it this way. If he stays in Bellator the way that he's going right now, let's just say he does 10 more fights there, wins 9 of them, ends up with 2 losses. Let's just say, you guys really think he'll be up there in 10 years when we start talking about Max Holloway and Alex Volkanovski? You guys really think that AJ McKee will be right in the conversation with him?
None of those guys are going to be there in 10 years anyway, so it's not like it really matters.
We're talking about all-time greats. We're talking about legacy. That's what I
Right,
was asking about.
in 10 years, all-time greats will be somebody else.
Bro,
I
when
don't
it
know
comes to
about that.
all-time greats, I honestly don't even give a fuck about the media.
There's one guy
or
at
any of the
featherweight.
fans. There's one thing that I care about, and it's that gym talk. You feel me? I want to know what the fighters have to say about who the great is. You feel me? Who's giving you that work? Who's giving you that work on the mat?
What's that guy's
for real?
name? The internet guy that goes to boxing gyms and gets beat up and says he's undefeated and he's tough as fuck.
Charlie Zelnoff.
Yeah, he's the GOAT, dude.
Yeah, Charlie Z.
I seen that dude.
I just think that the UFC being the measuring stick because they're more popular is incorrect. I think there's better fighters in other promotions all over the world.
Bro, facts. It's people who are going to UFC fighters and giving them work, who are on other promotions, giving them work in the training room,
Like,
giving them
granted,
absolute fits.
Granted, he lost, but I mean, Starboy came over and immediately fought the number 2 ranked featherweight, flyweight in the world, and like brought him to split decision. Like, you know what I mean?
Right.
He lost, but it was immediate. It was instant. Eddie Alvarez won the lightweight title in 3, maybe 4 fights in the UFC. Michael Chandler challenged for the title in his second fight in the UFC.
Yeah, but Michael Chandler's like what 1-4 in the UFC, 2-5.
Right, but that's not my point, dude. My point is that
I know.
these fighters from other companies are coming over here and they're making their splashes. So the UFC being the only company that matters isn't a real thing anymore.
I don't think it's the only company that matters, but I definitely think it'll always be the measuring stick until somebody else is
in Asia, ONE FC is the measuring stick, and UFC is secondary. You know what I mean? So
maybe
he only won one fight, and that was versus Tony Ferguson.
Bro, no, he beat what's his name too. He beat Dan Hooker too.
Yeah, don't play with my man's name like that.
But I mean, okay, I'll ask you guys one last thing. I mean, I won't even ask you. I'll just make a statement. Everybody was talking about how Will Brooks was the fucking man and he's the best lightweight in the world. He's going to come to the UFC and clean up. And what did he do? He went like 1-3, 1-4, got cut. We never saw him again.
Ill will.
I mean, that's why you never know how these guys are going to do when they get against the elite.
I mean, I heard that happen to him because his first album was also Millennium.
It might have been, bro. Anyway, enough about that. We'll discuss it some more when AJ McKee beats up some more mechanics and doormen and shit like that nobody's heard of. Hey, but he did beat Pitbull once. I'll give him credit for that.
Bro, you gotta stop this, bro. This is how I feel like people talk about my guy because he fight at Bellator, but he'll give people that work. Eula.
Oh, bro. I mean, he's fighting.
He's nasty.
He's fighting legit dudes that are
he's nasty. You know what I mean?
Stop, bro.
Don't do that shit. Don't do that.
No, I mean, I'm just saying. You don't think if
Because
Julius got an offer to fight in the
Because when
UFC?
Anthony Smith was getting ready for his title shot, he was ringing my guy's phone.
Right.
You
No,
feel
I
me?
agree.
And he
Like,
fight for the UFC.
You don't
You
think
know
if
what I mean?
Julius got an offer to go to the UFC, he would go?
I don't know.
I think he
I
would,
don't know.
man.
I've had
Ask him.
conversations with him.
Okay.
I have, bro.
And what'd he say?
The benefits are different, bro. You
Yeah.
have
That's what I'm
different
saying.
options the way.
Right there.
You have different options the way, bro.
Right. I understand the sponsorship thing is a problem.
Of course, it's tantalizing. It's you want to do it because of how mainstream UFC is. Of course,
Right.
you have more opportunities to be on more shows. Like, of course, but the sponsorship and other shit that comes along with being at Bellator is a little different, bro. You can make your money how you want to make your money over there. It's nobody telling you what you can or can't do, really.
That is true. But one thing that people don't bring up enough
And
is that if
you can clearly see your way to the title over there. Sorry to interrupt.
You can, but like, okay, AJ McKee. Let's even say the Bellator pays him more than UFC would per fight. Let's just say it. Regardless,
They do. I'm sure they would.
they probably do, but regardless, UFC offers pay-per-view points to main eventers. If he's a main
To
eventer,
certain main eventers. Don't act like it's every main eventer that's getting pay-per-view
I mean,
points.
if he's that good though, then he'd be getting pay-per-view points. He'd be
Name
going in
5
there.
UFC fighters that get pay-per-view points.
Name 5.
Go for it right now.
Okay, Dustin Poirier does. Francis Ngannou.
When he fights who?
Huh?
When he fights somebody else that's as big as
Anybody.
him. He's not getting strictly pay-per-view points
Yes,
just
he
off
is.
his name alone.
Yes, he is.
And there's no way Ngannou is because he's not even fighting right now because of a contract dispute. So don't
fights,
say
he gets-
Ngannou.
You gotta look into this stuff. He gets pay-per-view points when he fights. He absolutely does.
It's the mega stars over there. So don't act like it's any old main event getting fucking pay-per-view points because that's not true.
Pretty much most of the male champions, other than the lighter weights, are getting pay-per-view points, especially with their newer.
So
contract.
like 3 of them.
No,
Most
more
of
than
the
that.
male champions that aren't lighter weights, so like 3 of them.
So you don't think, like, let's say when Cejudo comes back, you don't think he's getting pay-per-view points for his fight versus Aljo? You don't
No,
think Connor's getting pay-per-view points? Yeah, they are.
Connor's the only guy that is getting pay-per-view points every time. That's a
Nah,
guarantee.
No, there's more than just those two. that are getting
Yuri's getting pay-per-view points.
George definitely getting pay-per-view points.
He was. And actually,
he don't work for them no more.
huh?
He don't work for
He's
them.
talking about
no more?
Jorge.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, Jorge definitely is. Absolutely, he
Yeah.
is. But the other thing is too is when you fight on pay-per-view, you also get discretionary bonuses, and that's why I've heard like several fighters talk about how every time GSP fought, everybody would blow up Dana White and not stop bothering him until he put them on the card, because you get pay-per-view bonuses if you're on a pay-per-view, especially one that does good. I've heard
That's a fact.
fighters talk
People
about
used
it.
People
I've
used to
never heard
bang
that
Dana's-
before. I've only ever heard
people
of
used to
awful
bang
UFC
Dana's
days.
door down if George St. Pierre was fighting. Period.
They did.
They were banging his door down.
Jake Paul's literally trying to start a fighters union because they get paid so shitty. Like,
They do get paid shitty, like guaranteed, but not
Oh.
everybody gets paid shitty. The top guys definitely make money. But, I mean, I think that if AJ McKee would have signed with the UFC, I mean, I think he would have definitely got paid. Let's put it that way.
Jake Paul the GOAT.
Hey.
10 years from now, if everything this boy do come to fruition, man, they gonna stop, bro. They're gonna talk about this man like Ali. Stop. Go to in the MMA community.
Okay.
Let him fuck around and get more pay for these fighters. Let him get
I
them
hope he does.
on boxing level pay.
I
for
really
some of
hope
these
he does.
fighters. And bro, it's
The
over.
only bad part about it is if they start getting paid boxer type pay, Nico, is that the quality of the cards are going to go down. The main events are going to be good. Maybe the co-main event and the rest of the card is going to
You
suck.
want to know what would be some absolutely insane off the wall shit?
What?
If they really force Dana out of this position and Jake Paul fuck around and buy the UFC.
He doesn't have enough money to buy the UFC, man.
He could find some investors. Khabib's doing it
Dana
right.
doesn't own it though, man. Endeavor does. They won't sell it, bro.
You don't think
They would
so?
never. No.
Oh my God,
I think he owns. I think he owns some like. I think he owns some like. Like he has some ownership in the company that owns the UFC. I'm pretty sure he does own a part of Endeavor because it's owned by like a lot of actors and Hollywood people. And like I said, I think he owns like a part of it though. But bro, that'd be a lot of money. And but yeah, it's all good. Let's switch over to some wrestling real quick. So Vince McMahon came back last week, and Stephanie McMahon resigned today. And she acts like it's like it wasn't like a big thing, and she's like everything's cool, blah blah blah. But that just sounds kind of suspicious to me, man. Like she completely just is done. She says she's gonna go back to watching wrestling as a fan from now on. Like, that's kind of I don't know.
Triple H still is assuming his position, yeah.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Maybe she's spending time with the girls.
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know. I know, Ben, you had said the other day that Endeavor is one of the companies that's like a front runner to buy it out of the 5. I know Fox is another one. That'd be something if Endeavor bought it, huh?
It'd be wild.
It would be.
The two most like polarizing figures in sports entertainment, Dana White and Vince McMahon. Would there even be enough room for their grapefruits in the same room at the same time, dude?
No, I think if Endeavor bought it, I think they'd just take over and they'd let Vince McMahon go.
Well, I mean, at least during the contract signing. I'm saying both have giant balls, so who knows?
Yep. I think, yeah.
Do you think he would get rid of Vince?
Yeah. If Endeavor bought it, if Endeavor bought it, yeah, they would get rid of Vince because he wouldn't. He's a control freak, bro. If somebody else owned it, he's not going to be their employee. It's not going to be like Eric Bischoff, like going to work for the WWE after a few years and being cool with everything. That Vince is like, bro, that's from what I hear, that's just not the way he does business, man. I don't think he would work for somebody else.
But what happens when because it's the same as when whoever purchased the UFC and they still kept Dana there as the head man.
Yeah, but they got rid of the Fertittas, right? They didn't get rid of them, but they bought it and they just sent them on their way. I think they'd keep like Triple H and some people like that in line, but I don't think that they'd keep Vince McMahon around. I couldn't see why they'd want to. Did you watch Raw last night?
Yeah, of course.
What did you think of Raw?
Mid.
Yeah.
It was mid.
I was highly disappointed in the main event because it took like 4 hours and 3 minutes just to do that one gauntlet match. Yeah. I mean, literally it was like an hour.
Bro, it was so stupid. What happened at the beginning of Raw?
At the beginning of Raw, it started out the same way, right? The bloodline.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. They did their thing, right? And then AP did what? Sent the Usos home.
Yeah. And then
how many more times we see the Usos throughout the night?
Like 3 more times, right?
Come on, bro.
Yeah.
That's just stupid.
I mean,
hate that. I don't like when there's no continuity. And the first time that we seen them again, they should have turned the fuck up and they should have really been kicked up out of there.
I think
how the fuck we see them again, bro?
I think that's part of the storyline, though. I think that's why he's making them defend the Raw titles against somebody else. I think that he may even strip them of those titles. I don't think the Bloodline's going to win them. I do. I think that they're going to But
even so, even if you're right, I don't like when there's no continuity. And we didn't even see Pierce again. We don't see Pierce again, even though they turn up again. Like,
yeah, I mean, that was kind of weird.
I need continuity in my show. That's the one thing that keeps me involved. So when there's not, it pisses me the fuck off.
I don't blame you. Bro, Solo looked fucking good. He always looks good, man.
Yeah, man.
That might have been his best match so far against Dolph. I think Dolph definitely
there's like a meme of how everybody in the bloodline needs help to win a match except for Solo.
I mean, hey, that ain't wrong, bro.
Mm-mm.
I mean, they're kind of like they're kind of making him like the new Umanga, the new Haku, that kind of like
Yeah,
just
they're
badass
booking him
motherfucker.
strong. I want
Yeah.
to see a title on him soon.
Yeah, I think we will sooner than later. I was glad they did what they did with Rhea versus
Yep.
LeRae.
Yep.
I mean, it was
Booking
exactly the way
Rhea
it should have
strong,
been.
man. Booking Rhea
Yeah.
real strong, even when
That-
she's challenged.
Right. Yeah, that match, like I said, it went exactly the way they should have done it.
I fucking love Dom Mysterio right now,
He's funny, man.
and
That whole
especially
Miz segment.
watching all
Yeah.
the old Nitros. I'm seeing exactly what they're doing.
Oh yeah, they're turning him into Eddie.
Yeah, literally following the Eddie blueprint.
Yeah,
So funny.
it's smart, man, because he's got good charisma, man. I think that they're really showing it, man, because like his dad, you know, Ray's great, but he's never been a great talker or like he had like a good, like I mean, he's just been like a spectacular athlete. You know what I mean?
Yeah, this is the perfect way to put gold on him for the first time too. Well,
Yeah.
aside from the tag team belt with his dad, you do it with Damian
Right.
Priest or something like that, and then you have his fallout with the Judgment Day. You go a little solo heel action, Intercontinental title run.
Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah,
I think that they're doing a good job with him, man. They're doing the right thing. Definitely being smart. But yeah, I'd like to see where it ends up going. And then besides that, I liked the whole Kevin Owens thing, but at the same time, man, I don't know why, but it felt like that match kind of dragged a little bit. I thought that match was too long. What the fuck you think they're doing with Alexa? With the Uncle Howdy interrupting her promo.
I don't know, because then it just went to commercial.
Yeah, it was weird, man.
And we got nothing else.
Yeah, I would have liked to have seen. Yeah. I would have liked to have seen how they like tied that up in the arena. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like they could have like had her like you know kind of like twitching and pissed off and stuff or something. You know how she does that.
Yeah.
Shit, like do something. You know, show us something.
We got the little glimpse of the playground and him saying you think you're in control. Most like he's gonna bring her back to that version of herself. The same way he's gonna bring the Fiend back to that version of himself. I think Uncle Howdy is trying. He's the one connecting them.
Hey, breaking news from Ben. WWE was just bought by a Saudi Arabian company. That's what he says within the last hour. So that's something.
Wow.
Yeah, let's see.
Looks like we're gonna have more shows to watch in the afternoon.
Yeah. All right. So see what happens. I don't know, man. Let's see. Yeah, I don't know who. League terms at WWE been sold. I don't know.
Wow.
Done, and they're taking the company private. Apparently, a Saudi Arabian company is buying it, and they're going to take the company back private. All right, we'll see what happens. Huh?
Is that good?
It just depends. I mean, in the long run, probably. I'd rather own my shit outright than have a bunch of investors. You know what I mean? Because then you got to have, like, you know, you always have people looking over your shoulder. But, you know, it's one of those things, man. It's all good. That's interesting, though. I'm curious to see what ends up happening with that. But that's cool. Let's see. Oh, Nico, what? Real quick, I know it was a week ago, but what happened with Ricochet and Gunther, man? I know you guys love Ricochet so much.
Yo, man, he clipped that boy Gunther, man. He showed you how hardcore he is. That's what he did. He said, fuck, waiting for the TV 14 rating. I know y'all plan on selling this shit and going private, but let me show you how we gonna get down when this TV 14 rating hit. Let me show you how we gonna get people stitched up over here. So he grabbed the chair. He ran down to the ring. He slid in to clean house. Gunther hopped out of the ring like the... like the little bitch that he is, Gunther tried to hop out the ring and ricocheted the chair off the back of his fucking head. Had him leaking.
You know, Ricochet's
Everybody
gonna
in the
take an ass
everybody in
whipping
the
for that
front
one.
row. Everybody in the front row. Oh my God, he's leaking. Get him stitched up.
He's
Ricochet standing
leaking.
strong. Ricochet standing strong with his brother Braun Strowman. You see how they look alike. You see how him, Braun, and Top Dollar look alike.
Bro, they do look just
They
alike.
triplets. All of them.
Crazy.
Get my message?
Yeah, about WWE getting bought by a Saudi Arabian company that's going to take it back private. It's interesting. Well, we'll see what happens now. It's interesting and kind of weird at the same time because, like,
They're gonna put Vince back in charge. They're like, brother, we purchase our women too. You know.
bro, here's the thing about the Saudi Arabian, like,
yeah, bang bang.
did you guys ever hear like the whole story when the Saudi Arabians, like, you know, purchased the show and they were like told Vince who they wanted to see on the show? Did you guys hear about that?
Nah.
Like, Nico, they asked for Yokozuna, the Ultimate Warrior, Andre the Giant to be there.
Shut up.
I swear, bro. All these people that are deceased.
That's
like
crazy.
they had like a list. Like they had like, you know, they had people that are actual wrestlers now, like, but they had the Undertaker, but they also had like I said, the Ultimate Warrior, Yokozuna, I think Andre, like on the list. Like they wanted them to make appearances. Pretty crazy, man.
That's
I swear,
insane.
bro.
That's
Yeah.
literally insane.
Yeah, it's pretty wild.
But no bra and panty match.
No bra and panty. Oh God. Could you imagine they made it that all the women had to wear like t-shirts and pants like every match now? That'd be awful.
Parka.
Fucking jumpsuits and stuff. Oh man. All right. Well, let's wrap this up, Nico. Ben, you still with us?
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm just reading about this Saudi Arabia thing.
No, you're good, man. All right. Well, hey, Nico, you want to take it to the house?
There is no need to adjust your screen. It's not Bruce Buffer, but you've been here live with TFG for the Stash and Badu set. Hot Take Willie G and that Ninja Nico. We are out of here. Peace. Holla at you next week.
Peace out.